What's going on, guys? One love out to everybody. We got UFC 318, Holloway versus Poirier Part 3. Predictions breakdown here, guys. Before I get started, hit the thumbs up button. Also, subscribe to this channel. Also, check out my Patreon account for all my face-up predictions on prop plays. You can check out the PayPal account also and leave a donations. Also, you can check out Wayne Gitchy for more health and wellness. If you're trying to, keep in shape, change your way you eat, change your lifestyle, exercises, you can check out Wayne Gitchy. All the links will be down below. Yeah, quick breakdown here, guys. I've been busy lately, so I'm doing the best I can, which I always do. And when it comes to these these predictions and breakdown, I'm not making any money from doing this. I'm just being honest with you, right? So I do the best I can. I try to get to it as best as I can, and give my input, right? It's all over the end of the day, but I'm not, I still have to have family, kids, and all these things I gotta take care of. So, this is not paying the bills or anything like that. So I'm just keeping it real with you, okay? We got 14 fights on this card here. Pretty good card. It's a pay-per-view card, so bigger cage we're dealing with. It's not Apex, which can make a little difference with a lot of the guys on here. They perform better when the cage is bigger, right? I noticed this. So I did a little homework on this one. Also, I want to say something to you guys here, which I mentioned a lot of times. Even from the last week card, the Stephen Thompson fight. Stephen Thompson got robbed in that fight. And the Derek Lewis and the Teixeira, kind of suspect too, even though I said Derek Lewis has a puncher's chance and the more experience, they knocked down Teixeira. But Teixeira was recovering in that fight. But like I said, when it comes to these games, right, a lot of times it can be manipulated based off the judging system and also the referee, right? So you got to keep that in mind. And they will favor a particular person to win the fight. And they will do it in a way where if the person hurts that particular person or knock them down, they will stop the fight quickly, right? And sometimes they'll make it go a little bit longer, but they will still stop it, right? So, and again, the judging system is the same thing. If they want a specific guy to win, it could just be the guy's totally lost a fight, like the Stephen Thompson. Stephen Thompson won the fight, and Gabriel straight up lost, but they gave it to Gabriel, right? I guess they can do more with Gabriel than what they can do with Stephen Thompson. And a lot of times there's a lot of hype on the guys, and like social media and all these things, and just more marketable, more exciting. Like Black Beast, he's a joker, a funny guy, and he puts on a show, and people love him. You gotta be able to can sell the fight, especially pay-per-views and all these things. So organization, you gotta also, I speak on this a lot of times, you have to also pay attention to what the organization wants, because sometimes the fights are rigged in a way. And when I mean rigged, meaning that they want the specific person to win, and based off of how the fight goes, if the guy knocked the guy down or in a submission or something, the referee will be quick to stop it. And it's particular referees that will do that. They have the specific referees that they use for that specific task. And when it goes to the judges, it's the same thing too. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. So yeah, the guy could be skilled and all these things, and the fight goes to decision, but the fact that the guy that's skilled is not marketable, and they want this other guy to win because it's more exciting. And he brawls, and is heavy hitter and just more excited. People like him more, and especially social media, big following and these things. They will give him the split. What I'm saying? Or if it's a knockdown, they will stop the fight quick. Happens all the time. You pay attention to that. So it's not always, and it should be. The guy's skilled, man, and the guy's a technician. If you don't put that guy out, like Stephen Thompson, he had to pretty much finish Gabriel to win that fight. So anywhere the fight would have went, I believe Gabriel would have still won. All right. Oh yeah, and the Black Beast and Teixeira, Black Beast just needed to knock him down, and that's what he did. So that's just how the game is, man. This goes for any other sports, football, whatever it is. When it's mainstream like this, And a lot of money is involved. It's going to be a little bit of the inside game has been played, a little bit of rigging here, a little bit of faking things here, and try to make things like an illusion, you know, try to show you something with one hand, and then on the other hand they're doing something else. You know, that's the games they're playing, man. You got to be aware of that. Okay, I'm telling you the truth, and this goes for majority of mainstream, if not all mainstream. It's only illusion, guys. You got to be careful of that. You got to pay attention to that. All right, that's why I say check out my Patreon account, because on Patreon I make switches up and on a particular fight based on that. So, and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I miss it, you know, so it can happen like that, but it is what it is. But we're going to keep rolling on here, guys. So we're going to fly through this. We got 14 fights. I just wanted to share that with you guys real quick, but some of you guys probably know that and the majority probably don't. And again, this goes for a lot of other things too, not just the sports, not just the games here. Mainstream is all friggin' based on the illusions, man. They always want to sell you something and trick you and draw you in, right? All right, first fight here, guys. We got Carli Judice versus Nicole Kalari. Kalari here, coming from, I believe, Contender Series. And she had a fight in UFC too against Ernesto Kite. I believe Carli and Ernesto fought, and they went to split too. With Nicole here, Nicole, she kind of have a slight of a Jessica Andrew kind of vibe to her. Very aggressive, bites down, come forward, forces a lot of the strikes. More want to strike, but she will go to the ground and look for submission. Very explosive, but she kind of slow down, you know, because of that, you know, explosion, right? Very aggressive. Like I said, she reminds me of Jessica Andrew. You know, she has that kind of aggressive, straightforward, kind of bite down kind of vibe, and just let the hands go. Has a huge Instagram following. So again, like I mentioned to you guys, you know, we're gonna take a look at the odds after this, though. I know I can look at it here, but I want to, you know, keep that to the crazy odds, keep it separately. She has a huge social media platform, you know. I mean, not huge, but it's growing. You know, 72, right? 1,000. So, you know, she obviously has more, you know, than Carli, right? But Carli is gonna have the 4-inch of height and 4-inch of reach, which is massive, very rangy. Striking base doesn't look bad, you know. To me, she's technical. Kind of remind me of Shauna Molly, but in a, you know, the woman version of Shauna Molly. You know, very loose with it. She's durable. Will defend takedowns. She'll also look for takedowns too. So I actually like Carli here, but again, this is one of these fights where, you know, like I said, you gotta pay attention to these things, because a lot of these things here could also makes a difference. You know, you have 9,000 followers. You know, she's not really, I won't say as popular as you want to say, you know, as Nicole, you know, going by social media. But skill wise, I just feel that the range and distance and timing, I feel Carla is a better fighter. You see what I'm saying? So I feel Carla is a better fighter. But again, going back to woman fight, like I always say, like I said, guys, I could lead it to the water. You know, I can lead the horse to the water, but I can't let him drink it. So I can give the guys an insight and break it down for you. And I can give my predictions, but sometimes I could be wrong. I feel, you know, that Carla has a range, the reach, the height, and she's more technical. But again, the woman fight, and, you know, most likely this fight is going to end to a decision. So we can see a fight like this, and we can see more of Nicole coming forward and just being aggressive. Right? You know, all depends on what the judges want to see. You know what I'm saying? Does the judges want Carla to be on the outside, peppering up and using footwork, may get hit maybe once or twice, but hit hard? You know what I'm saying? Does the judges want to see more of this aggressive and just straightforward, which Nicole going to do that? You know what I'm saying? So if it goes to judges, the judges going to pick Nicole to win. You feel what I'm saying? So it's technical and skill wise, I say it's Carla. You know, not Kalari, because both of them seem to have a similar name. I say Carli Judice is more skill here, more technical, you know. But when it goes to judges, it could play out different, and it's a woman fight. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Carli Judice by decision, guys, but it's 50-50. And like I said, if if Nicole come forward aggressive and just make it a dog fight, but it seems like she's doing a lot, but she's not really. She's just being very aggressive. But you can see Carli Judice just jabbing her up, picking the shots, tearing up from the outside, just making a more technical fight. Judges could look at it differently, man. I'm just letting you know that. And it also could be based off of just more of the popularity, like I said, the social media, and etc. etc. So this fight here is a very close fight, and to me it's even based on that. And again, it's a woman fight. Like I said, most of the women fight, you gotta be very careful with it because it could go the other direction. But Carli Judice by decision, guys. Not confident. Next fight we got Brunno Ferreira versus Jackson McVeigh. So this is short notice. It's supposed to be Ikram, but Ikram withdrew. Brunno here. This fight could be kind of like Black Beast versus Ateba brother there. What did I do with them? Black Beast versus Tashiro, right? It could be similar to that, man. I mean, if you're looking at it, you're looking at McVeigh, who is 6-0, not really tested at all, to be honest with you, but in the regional scene, he seems to be running through guys, just submitting them and just destroying them, bro. Even with strikes, right? But mostly by submissions, right? So this could be a similar thing that we can see here, and it could not be. You could see McVeigh coming here and submit Brunno, because Brunno has been submitted, and Brunno has been knocked down. But most likely it will be McVeigh submitting Brunno. But Brunno ground game is not bad either. So this is a fight where Brunno, pack power, very aggressive guy. He's well rounded. This guy's pretty. I mean, Bruno's a very skilled guy, man. He can take it anywhere. He has submission games. He take you down. He's a more experienced guy here. He's a more tested guy. So I'm saying, he had a couple fights in UFC. He lost some. He fought Gregor Rodriguez. He actually knocked out Gregor Rodriguez. Against North 10 he lost. Phil Hayes, Dustin Stoffers, Abos, Armin. I'm saying he had a couple of fights. A guy like McVeigh hasn't been tested, so we can look at it like that now. We can go, but McVeigh could come in here, and submit him. He just looks good, but he's not tested though. So, but again, this could be a different thing though, because Brunno again is not as experienced as Black Beast. Because Black Beast is a veteran. That's the difference. That's a different kind of level of experience, right? McVeigh taking this on short notice though. All finishes for McVeigh. So McVeigh 100% finisher. I believe Brunno is too. I believe Brunno is 100% finishing rate too. This one is see, not every card is the same, and when the cards are back to back, especially a pay-per-view card usually has some crazy things happening, especially guys just falling off. Nobody fell off yet because I checked that before I made the video, but usually people fall off on pay-per-view cards, and there's a ton of ridiculous crazy things happen on pay-per-view cards, and usually back-to-back cards are not usually the same, right? So we could see something wild with this card where Jackson comes in here and submit Brunno. Can be wild like that, man. Brunno 100% finishing rate too, and Jackson is 100% finishing rate. It's even with knockout and submissions. So we could see something crazy like that, and it can happen. This does happen. Like I said, 6-0, 8-0. They got guys who come in here and they will drop the ball, and these guys come in here with 6-0, just short notice, and they'll pull off the win. A good example, Van. Van came in there short notice and pull off a win against a guy that was experienced, that is experienced, right? Yeah. So, but again, I'm just going off of my stats and just experience and everything like that. And like I said, with McVeigh, he's gonna have the 5-inch reach, 6-inch of height. That could play a factor. Could play a huge factor. All first round finishes though. All his fights are done in the first round. I have to go with Brunno, just based off of like experience and just McVeigh short notice, but he's supposed to be fighting though. He was supposed to fight like 2 cards back, but again, still be careful though, man. Guy with that range, that reach, that height, pulls off a lot of submissions on people. I mean, people, is not tested. The people that he submitted, is not. There's nobody really tested. 3-2, 7-13, 1-1. I mean, man, it's not that good. It's LFA, but he hasn't really fought nobody really, right? Ben Fowler. I mean, some of these guys I heard of, but yeah, man, I'm gonna go with Brunno. I said Brunno by KO TK in the first round, man, but I like what I see from Jackson. I don't think he's bad, but I say Brunno first round knockout, because some things I see from Jackson, sometimes his chin is there, and he would eat a shot just to deliver a shot, or he will eat a shot just to get the clinch. So that's something I saw when I watched a couple of his fights, and he does it all the time. So, but Brunno by KO TKO first round, but I'll still be careful with this fight. Next fight, I got Ryan Spann versus Lucas Brisky. Ryan Spann moved up to heavyweight. I'm just gonna say this straight off the bat, man. This is a fight that give me a second here, guys. Water break. Hurry up and drink your water, man. We ain't here to hear you drink water. That good old Mountain Valley water, man. Hurry up and drink your water, man. We ain't here to hear you drink water. Water break, man. Keep the throat wet. Throat was gonna dry. Alright, Spann here. Straight to the point, man. He's supposed to win this fight, dude. He moved up to heavyweight. Didn't look good against Acosta. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to win this fight, man. The more skilled guy, he can win this fight anywhere. He can submit or knock out Brisky. Anywhere this fight go, he can beat this guy easily, dude. If he loses this fight, he's gonna get cut. Brisky should not beat him, bro. Should not win. Spann should win this fight, dude. And that's it. He's a more well-rounded guy all the way around, striking and on the ground, right? Brisky is hittable, bro. He's hittable. He can get taken down. I don't feel like he belongs in the UFC, dude. He's not on the level, and you can tell. I mean, non-contents. It was overturned. I don't know. I forgot who won that one. You only beat Walter Walker though. Walter Walker been looking good, been ankle locking, heel hooking everybody. So I don't know. I mean, maybe he can beat Spann, but he shouldn't though. Spann is a better fighter here, man. I mean, Brisky wants to strike, but he's so hittable. You can hurt him on the foot, knock him out, knock him down, get taken down, put on his back. It's just in my eyes, I just feel like he's not on the level. So Spann should win this guy, and if he loses this fight, like I said, most likely he will get cut, right? Brisky been knocked out a couple of times, 4 times. It's just I feel Spann is on a different level, dude. You're supposed to can beat this guy anywhere. You can take him down or you can submit him. Just any which way he want. You can take him down, submit him, or knock him out. Any which way he want to do it. I say Spann by KO TKO first round, but I'm not confident though, because like I said, Ryan Spann, he will drop the ball. That's pretty much it. He's kind of like Kennedy. Remember I told you Kennedy will drop the ball? Exactly. I called it. I had Kennedy winning, but I called it though. I called it. And I had some plays without Kennedy being in it, because I know. Because Kennedy will drop the ball. Like I told you, Ryan Spann will drop the ball. Even though Brisky doesn't look great, but Ryan Spann will still drop the ball. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm going Ryan Spann because I feel he should win this KO TKO first round. Zero confidence. Next fighter, we got Jimmy Crute versus Marcin Pachano. Or Prachno. My bad, man. Marcin Prachno. Jimmy Crute here, he actually looked good in his last fight, man. He went to a draw against Rodolfo. Rich Rodolfo is a pretty heavy hitter guy. He's a well-rounded guy too, but he would take your head off. And Crute looked good in there. You know, shows a lot of improvement in his game. You know, he's not. He doesn't look like he's thinking too much in there. He's just going with the flow. He's just flowing with it, right? And his gas tank looked better. So I mean, I'm liking what I see from Crute. You know, on his return. Marcin here. Marcin, you know, the karate base on him, unorthodox. You know, will catch you with angles though. He's pretty good at that, especially with the Mwashi give it to the head. But he's so hittable. He's hittable, can get taken down. He's hittable. And pretty much does the same thing, but he's an orthodoxer, so he will catch you. Right? I'm going to push for Crute. I'm going to say Crute by KO in the first round. But again, you know, Crute hasn't been looking good. Right? I mean, you can tell. But the people that he's losing against, you know, like Misha Sharonov, Anthony Smith, Jamal Hill, Alonzo Menfield, you know, those guys they're not like, say, like, you know, bad, but, you know, they still got a little edge in them, right? You go into a draw with Rodolfo, you know, it just shows that Crute has been working on his game. So he could have got knocked out or he could have lost. So I'm going to go Crute by KO first round, guys, but zero confidence. Because, like I said, we have guys like Crute, Ryan Spann is just risky. Can go anywhere. These are fights like Jimmy Crute and Ryan Spann. You don't put them in parlays. If you're doing parlays, you don't throw them in parlays. You know, you may can do one or two, but that's it. But you may probably want to go underdog, or just go the other way. If you know, so if they're a dog or not. So yeah. So Jimmy Crute by KO first. Next fight here we got Adam Fidget versus Islam Dulatov. Adam Fidget here. Adam Fidget can get flat-footed from what I noticed. Hittable, coming straight at you on the line. Let me see here. He's gonna have a 2-inch reach, but in retrospective, Adam is the more experienced guy. You know, we look for takedowns, but striking wise and the way how he moves in there is just very hittable. You know, I mean that's pretty much it. Went to a split decision against Josh, but again, Josh is a guy that's on steroids. You know, like, again, when you see a lot of these guys that are on steroids, which some guys are on steroids, when they get off of it, you're gonna see a difference. If you look at his record now, all of this right here, from his amateur steroids, he was using, juicing, whatever he was using, he's using it, and all the way up to when he fought Trey and Don. No more roids. You got to be natural, man. That's the truth is in being natural. That goes for anything you do. This goes for your health. If you're doing unnatural things into a natural body, you will destroy it. Going short term and long term. If you don't catch you will see you later on. So you got to do things naturally, man. So that's just what it is. It will show up later. What's hidden in the dark will come to light. That's pretty much it. Always happens, man, guys. Always happens, man. His opponent here, Islam. Islam is a model, I believe, but coming from a kind of like a, who is he like now? What's that dude? I forgot his name. I keep mentioning these guys and can't remember the name. I forgot the name, but you know, like the guy models, right? And he's at the ATT American Top Team. And his hands are pretty quick, very aggressive, 100%, 100% finishing rate, I believe. Comes out the gate though, just letting his hands fly, more like a boxing kind of base he has there. But he got hands though, and his ground doesn't look bad. His loss here was he was in the lower weight, like 146. Once he started to move up in weight, get more experience, he started to look better. At 170, he looks decent. I mean, I like what I see from him, even after Contender Series. Again, this guy's coming straight off the Contender Series. Like I said, this guy's a model. Kind of like Rockhold, because Rockhold also model. But this guy here, his hands are pretty legit, and I did have more of a boxing background. Speed, timing, precision. I mean, he should beat Adam, dude. But again, Adam has a couple fights in UFC already, so Adam has the experience in him. But again, it's one of these fights where you just gotta be careful with it. This guy's a first round finisher, though. First round, 100% finishing rate. All first round finishes, 100% rate. So I'm gonna go Islam. I just like what I see from him. Like I said, guys. I look at this in I look at the Instagram, look at the training, I look at the movement, the timing, the precision. Yeah, you look at who they have fought to, but when a guy is skilled, he's skilled, and this guy is skilled. The guy is skilled. He fought some veteran guys, 42 and 19, 20 and 12. So he, 13 and 7, 9 and 5. His record is not so padded. He's not like fighting the straight up cans. But I gotta go with Islam. But still be careful. I say Islam by KO TK in the first round, guys. All right. Next fight we got Ateba Gautier versus Robert Valentin. Ateba here is gonna have the 4-inch of reach, raw power. This guy is pretty decent. Can get taken down though, like what we saw from Yuri in the Contender Series. He got taken down in that second round, but he scrambled back up and got the finish. The Yuri guy is more of a ground specialist, and he's shown that he has some defense, but you can see that there's still little holes in his ground game. Very athletic guy though, very explosive, but he's fighting a guy in a Robert who's coming off of the tough, and Robert more will want to push the striking, but he will also go for the ground. You can see he has rear naked chokes, guillotine. Lost to Terrence Finney and lost to Ryan Loader. I believe this was the finale. I believe. So to become the Ultimate Fighter, but this is a fight where Robert knows that Ateba, his strong point is going to be the stand up, and Robert is more experienced here, dude. So this is a fight where, oh man, it's difficult to pick. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to pick Robert because I feel like Ateba, athleticism and his striking, he just goes far, man. He goes real far. I feel that whatever Robert has is just not on the level of Ateba as far as skill, but then the experience though could play a factor. If Ateba gets tired, if freaking Robert jump his back and choke him out, there's a lot of different things, different scenarios that we can look at, and Robert could get a win. It's just possible. And this is one of these fights where, how much work has Ateba put into the ground. He's getting really good to stopping takedowns, because if he is, then I feel like he couldn't finish Robert in this fight, because Robert's striking is not on the level of Ateba. I feel Ateba is the better striker. But the ground, though, of Robert could play an issue. And Robert himself on his back is not that great, from what you notice, but his submission game though is there. I'm gonna go with Ateba. I'm gonna say Ateba by KO TK in that second round, guys. But I'm not confident in this one at all, because I feel Robert could have an edge in the submission. And the reason why I've not picked Robert, but Robert's experience, he has experience, but he's not like a veteran. He's not like a super experienced guy. You know what I'm saying? Coming off the tough and all these things, it's not like super experienced, right? So I'm gonna go to Ateba by KO TK in the second round, okay? Next fight we got Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Valentinnikov. Sure. Francisco here, he's a well-rounded kid, man. Can take this fight anywhere. Can strike, will look for the ground, take you down, submit you. Very durable guy, man. Has that dog in him. Also an American top team. Fighting out of Miami, Florida. this kid is pretty skilled. Coming for 2 back-to-back losses, but lost to Daniel Zellhuber, lost to Jake Matthews. You know, those are not bad losses. Lost to Jamie Malarkey also. Only win was against Azatar. Oh man, Pardo is 100% finishing rate on this kid too, man. This kid goes in there and just go for it. And the UFC likes him. This is where, you know, you gotta say, what does the organization want? They like Pardo because he pretty much only won 1 fight. And that's pretty much, and they brought him in here. He wasn't even on the contender series or nothing like that. So just brought him in from Samurai Finals. So the UFC, look at the light, this kid, right? Nikolai, on the other hand, Nikolai is technical striking, but can get taken down. He's got another 5-inch reach and 3-inch of height. Nikolai could win this fight, you know. He could be part of it. I don't know, man. Lost against Aston Vanderford. Didn't look good at all in that fight. Danny Bravo, that was a freaking robbery. I felt like Nikolai won that. And Danny Bravo got exposed. So that shows you that, you know, that Nikolai actually won the fight, dude. You know what I mean? But he fought Sam Patterson, who's a very, very experienced guy. 9-0 versus 12-2. But Sam Patterson is experienced, though. He's better. He's a skilled fighter. Nikolai is also the more experienced guy here. So this is a fight where Nikolai could actually win this fight. He could win this fight. You know, could keep Pardo on the outside and just touch him up. You know, his 5-inch of reach, 3-inch of height. Strong possibility. But what I see from him, though, the ground game, just certain things he's doing. Even against Danny Brawler, he just, I don't know, man. It's like he would drop the ball. You know what I mean? He's like one of these guys that would drop the ball. He's not like solid. You know what I'm saying? He's not solid. You know, I feel like it's a fight that Pardo could win. And if it ever goes to decision, they're going to give it to Pardo. But I must say Pardo by submission in the first round, guys. All right? But I'm not confident because I do feel like Nikolai could win, man. You know, but he's just not solid. He dropped the ball. You know, like he looked like, you know, he looks good at some points and some points just doesn't look good. You know what I'm saying? It's just like he just will fall off real quick. You know, he could look good in first round and come back and just lose the fight in the second or get caught and get knocked down or submitted. So Pardo will keep a pace and just keep coming. And that's it. So I'm going to go with Pardo. Pardo by submission first round. Next fight, we got Marvin Ventura versus Brandon Allen. Marvin, this is a kind of a heated fight against because this guy's had some words way back, I guess, in the casino or something. I guess Brandon Allen punched him or kicked him or something like that. I don't know. But Marvin been out for a while, man. And he had a couple issues. I guess his brother passed away and some shoulder issues, injuries here and there, you know, loss against Roman, you know, but the kid is durable. The Roman fighters didn't look good in that fight, looked totally off. You know, he will mix it up though. He's training on the American Top Team. There are a couple of guys here that are coming out to the American Top Team. Yeah, man, it just didn't look good against Roman, man. Just, you know, he'd been out for a while. The last time he fought January 2023, you know, it's just not active. Against Brandon Allen just been staying active, man. Been fighting tough competition too. Fighting tough competition. You know, his well-rounded striking has improved, which I must say. You know, he has a submission. Can gas out. He does gas out a lot though. But like I said, he's just been active. He's been fighting tough competition and winning. You know, Marvin just hasn't been doing that. It's hard to pick Marvin. I've got to go with Allen. I'm going to say Allen by decision. But I'm not confident. Like I said, this is a heated fight against, I believe Marvin wants to go in there and finish him. I mean, that is what he says, but easier said than done. You know, you gotta be active, man. If you're not active in something and you have outside issues that you're dealing with and injuries, I don't know, it's just hard to pick a person like that. But I'm going with Allen. I'm gonna say Allen by decision, guys. Not confident. Next fight, my boy Carlo Phillips versus Vinicius Oliveira. This one here is a tricky one. And this goes back to what the organization wants. The organization wants Oliveira to win. I don't think they like Carlo Phillips too much, right? So Carlo Phillips, though, is well-rounded, striking kind of like a Taekwondo karate base, unorthodox. His ground is pretty good. So we'll look for the submissions. When you crowd him, though, he can run into trouble. If you crowd him, pressure, which Oliveira does that. But what I notice is that in the apex smaller cage, he doesn't do well. And those are the only 2 losses from Rob Font and from Pavel. And these were in the apex. There's only 2 losses. All of the fights are in bigger cages, like pay-per-view fights and just other fight nights that are not in the apex, right? So he performs well in a bigger cage because of his movement, right? He uses footwork to set up from the outside and touch you in and move out. So it's in and out movement, do the hitting and avoid getting hit. But Oliveira is well-rounded, wild, explosive, pack power. But skill-wise and technicality, Kyler Phillips is a better fighter here. But the aggressiveness and pressure is from Oliveira. And Oliveira can leave himself open at times, leave his head up in the air. Oliveira is hittable, and he leaves his chin up in the air a lot. And his technique sometimes is just not as sharp, especially his boxing. He wings a lot of punches, which his chin is up while he's throwing. And Kyler Phillips is the technician. And like I said, it's a bigger cage. We need to look at this. Oliveira been knocked out 3 times. But he packed power though, and is very aggressive. But Oliveira will walk you down. But a bigger cage for Kyler, I can see Kyler doing a lot better in this fight, especially against Oliveira. And then Kyler Phillips is not like, he doesn't have the experience, because he does. Pedro Munez, Ronnie Barcelos, beat Ronnie Barcelos, Young Dong Sung. All these guys are heavy freaking hitters, dude. Sung, Ronnie, and Pedro, these guys, especially Pedro and Young Dong, those guys will take your head off. And because he has more room to move, it favors him more. He's used to have it. Obviously, if he's based on movement, picking a shot and move, just that little more inches just to move out of the way could favor Kyler. I was going for Oliveira, but I started to dig a little deeper because the organization wants Oliveira to win. Keep this in mind if it goes to a decision, though. That's the thing, man. This is where it goes crazy, because the organization wants Oliveira to win. So if it goes to decision, and based off of if Oliveira can connect to Kyler, knock him down, because I don't think Kyler has ever been finished or knocked out. But if he lands just a couple heavy shots on Kyler and just be super aggressive and just push that pace on him, even though Kyler is touching him up and avoiding a lot of the shots, you go to judges is going to give it to Oliveira, because it depends on what they want to see. If they want to see a guy that's super aggressive, just like pushing, and Kyler's on the back foot, even though he's avoiding a lot of the shots, can go either way, guys. Especially when our organization want Oliveira to win. Kyler never been finished. I was going for Oliveira. I did a little more deeper digging. I watched a couple of Oliveira fights. I'm like, damn. I'm like, nah, man. I mean, Kyler Phillips should beat this guy, man. Just off of striking, man. The technicality, power-wise, Oliveira gonna have more power, right? But the precision and timing, man, gotta be Phillips, dude. It's hard for me to pick Oliveira, bro. But it's also a thing where, like I said, they go judges. Organization want him to win, so it could go split decision Oliveira. Keep that in mind, all right? And can lead the guys to water or lead the horse to water. I can't let you drink it, but you can look at it in that kind of scenario there. I go Kyler Phillips by decision, though, all right? Kyler Phillips could also catch Oliveira and knock him out, too, with an unorthodox technique. But most of Kyler Phillips fights is mostly decisions. You see what I'm saying? So when you see fights like that, he has fight by knockout, but it's even with a decision. UFC, the organization, they love guys that go in there and finish fights like Black Beast, Holland, and all these guys, 100% finishing. They love excite because they want to sell the card, they want to sell the fighter. And if a fighter just doing technical moves, which I love the technical stuff, but a lot of people, attention span is short nowadays. They don't know what they're looking at. They just want to see somebody get knocked out. Oh gosh, knocked out. Oh gosh, he's the best. But they're not seeing the footwork or the movement like Floyd Mayweather. They're not understanding the technicality, the art of it, right? Because like I said, some people are dumbed down more and more each time. So they don't understand these things. They don't understand the art form of it. So obviously they gotta push towards, to feed to more of the masses who are mostly dumbed down. Yeah, see what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna go with Kyler Phillips, man. So Kyler Phillips by decision, but they could go Oliveira by split robbery. Okay, Michael Johnson versus Daniel Zellhuber. This one's a tricky one here, guys. Very tricky one here. Michael Johnson here. This guy's a veteran, man, and Michael Johnson is skilled. Don't let the wins, the losses fool you. He's experienced. He's a veteran. He's one of the guys that I say. I was talking about the other guys earlier. That he has experience, but is not on that level. Michael Johnson is on that level. And the reason you can tell by his profile, by the guys that he fought, by his track record, all the guys, he fought some tough guys, right? He fought Khabib, even though he lost, but he fought a lot of tough guys. He even finished, fought even Miles Jury, dude. Tony Ferguson, I believe he knocked out Justin Pereira. You know what I'm saying? He had a knockout over Justin Pereira. First round knockout. Johnson's a dangerous guy, but the thing about Johnson is that he's becoming more hittable, and getting submitted is his problem, and that's where most of his losses are coming from. So if you can game plan him, you can submit him. You got 9 by submission, and lately he's been getting caught and getting knocked out, but he getting knocked out by super experienced guys, right? Against Daniel is skilled, but there's something about him, man, that I want to say is mental. It's a mental thing. And we see it against Trey Argent, where he didn't really do not much in that fight, and Trey won a unanimous decision against him. That doesn't look good, right? Because we look at Trey now, Trey lost to Thiago Moss. You know what I mean? That don't look good. Beat Leonardo Vanado, Crystal Gagos, lost to Francisco Bernardo. Actually, he won against Francisco Bernardo, which is that kid I was mentioning, and lost to Rivervex because he got caught in that fight. There are times when you can catch Daniel in fights, man. He's rangy. He's got a 3-inch reach, 3-inch of height and 4-inch reach, which is massive. And the kid move good, works up the jab, follow up. He's still learning, and obviously he has room to grow. Guys like Johnson don't have much room to grow, but they have the experience, though. And he has the power. Power is still there for Johnson, dude. Daniel can get caught, especially when you close the distance on him and go in the pocket. You can catch him, dude, and hurt him with a shot. Right? Daniel could mix up this fight, though. Could mix the fight into the fight to the ground. He has 3 by submission, and his last submission was against Crystal Gagos by undercut choke. So this could be one of those fights where Daniel will take down Johnson and submit him. Strong possibility. But I can tell you now, straight off the bat, that organization wants Johnson to win. Yep. They definitely want Johnson to win. I can tell you that now. Daniel Zellhuber, they probably like Daniel, but they want Michael Johnson to win, right? They want Michael Johnson to win. So it's a fight where Michael Johnson still has to come in here and perform in this fight. But again, it goes to judges, depending on the referee. The referee could save you, but you see it a lot in boxing, which boxing is just total rigged or rob all the time. And UFC does the same thing too. So it depends on the referee in there and the judges. It could go to Johnson, man. If Daniel doesn't finish Michael Johnson. I could see Johnson finishing Daniel though. So that's a strong possibility. It's a tough one to pick. People may say, "Oh, it's an easy pick, man. Daniel is gonna beat him." But Daniel hasn't really fought nobody though, and that's the thing. Who has Daniel fought? Exactly. Who has Johnson fought? Exactly. You can look at this like Black Beast fight too, but Daniel obviously has more experience than Teixeira has. You know, he has more, obviously more cage hours, and and obviously fought some tough guys, and been in the UFC a little bit, have a couple of fights already. I'm a push towards Johnson, man. I have a feeling about this fight. I know probably Daniel is going to be the favorite. Like, we're going to take a look at who the favorites are, but I just have a feeling about this fight. I just feel that, again, I feel the UFC, they're pushing towards Johnson to win. Again, Johnson still has to go in there and perform, or just do enough to slide it, towards where you can get a split or by decision. So Daniel could also submit Johnson first round. Strong possibility. I'm gonna go with Johnson, guys. I'm gonna go with Johnson by decision, but this is zero confidence. Because you can see Daniel going there and use the range and height. And like again, Johnson is hittable, and Johnson can get submitted, dude. We see this all the time. Daniel Zuhuber, he's a skilled kid, but I see things like holes, and it's consistently seen even in his last fight, and his fight there that he lost against Trey. It's like a mental thing. Michael Johnson is mentally on, dude. Always. Johnson by decision, and I'm not confident. Next fight here, Don Ige versus Patricky Pitbull. Ige's a dog, man. This guy, he will fight the last minute, which we saw him when he fought Diego Lopes. This guy's there, man. This guy's come to fight 100%. No, not 100% finishing rate, but he has never been finished. That's what I want to say. 6 inch of reach from Dan. I never know Pitbull has such a short reach, but Dan's gonna have a 6 inch of reach. I believe they're pretty much the same height, though. I think Pitbull could be an inch taller, 5'8", 5'6" actually, but he's a 6'5" inch reach, dude. Pitbull, I don't know, man. Pitbull is skilled. I'm watching Pitbull for a long time. Come from Bellator. What I see from a lot of Bellator guys coming to the UFC, they tend not to do good, and this goes for every single one. They just don't do as well. And Pitbull is a veteran, but these guys don't do well when they come to UFC. And Pitbull is coming off of a neck surgery back in 2023, which I didn't know. They just seem to drop the ball when they get to UFC, dude. And Dan Ige ain't no freaking joke. I mean, I'm telling you, Yair Rodriguez, he's no joke either. But Dan Ige will fight, man. He's not gonna go out. You're not gonna finish him. He's gonna keep coming, dude. So I'm gonna go with Dan Ige in this one. Can Pitbull win? It's possibility. Just a track record of Bellator guys coming to UFC just doesn't look good. So Dan Ige by decision, guys. All right. Next fight we got Kevin Holland versus D-Rod. This is gonna be a good fight too. Kevin Holland, 6-7 inch of reach on him. Damn, massive, well-rounded. I feel Kevin Holland can finish this fight anywhere it goes. He can get the submission or by striking. He got the reach. D-Rod is still sure that he still have the hands, and he can still hurt you with the shots, right? Took out Santiago Ponzinobbio, by a left hook. It still shows that he still got a punching ability. And sometimes he will mix it up too. He will go to the ground too. But against Holland just at 170, man, Holland doesn't really lose too much at 170. And Holland just been looking, like I said, he looks good at 170. Most of his fights he's losing because he's fighting guys that are bigger than that. The frame is bigger, right? At 185, right? And that's where most of his losses are coming from. And Michael Page is a different animal. Michael Page is just timing and speed. Stephen Thompson, he pretty much gave that fight up. Which he had that fight winning. You know, he's fighting guys that are just when he's at 170, that's where he shined, dude. So so I gotta go with Holland. I would say Holland by KO TK in that second round, guys. All right. Next fight here, guys. We got Paulo Acosta versus Ramon Kopylov. Paulo Acosta, man. I don't know what to say about Paulo Acosta, dude. He's not active. I have 2 fight 2024, but just didn't look good at all. Sean Strickland by split. I don't see it. I think Sean Strickland won that fight straight up by a unanimous decision. His last win for Costa was Rockhold, dude. Which Rockhold, I believe, is retired in 2022, dude. This is the next thing here, man, where the UFC likes Costa. I guess the markability, and he has fans, you know, he can sell. People will tune in for Costa. You know, you gotta see what the organization want. So this one has robbery all over it. Ramon Kopylov, hands down, is a more skilled fighter here. Similar to Kylo Phillips. He's a way more skilled fighter here, man. He's a way more skilled fighter. Right? But again, you know, it's one of those things where it goes to judges, you know. I feel Ramon is just a better striker, better movement, better technicality, even the ground. You know, Kopylov can slow down, but he shows to still hang in there. And at times he can be hittable. But what I see from Costa, man, just his striking alone, maybe he come in this fight a little better, but his striking alone just doesn't look good. There's no setup. He kind of winds up. He just throws techniques out of nowhere. You know, he doesn't connect. You know, yeah, he just kind of, when he punches, he flinches. It just doesn't look good. Ramon is just on you, man. Just bam, 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 double up on his strikes. The 1-2 on the pocket. Ramon's just a more sharper guy. But again, man, this has robbery all over it. You know, if Ramon finishes him, then it's different. But if this goes to judges, freaking be very careful. Costa could get a split decision here, guys. I must say Ramon by KO TK in the second round. All right, but be careful with it, though. Like what I told you. What the organization wants. Next fight here, that was a co-main event. You see, Paulo Costa is on the co-main event. I mean, that tells you something, right? Co-main, dude, he's on the co-main event, bro. And his last win was 2022. Dude, a lot of these guys now are prepped in a way where they're using them more for marketing reason, obviously, of fame and who can draw the crowd than actually really skilled. And what they do, they will rig it, they will pull the strings here and there, especially if it goes to judges. They love it when they go to judges because now they can really rig it. Now they can really freaking rip the fighter off, dude. So Ramon gonna have to come in here, man, and put it on Acosta. So I have him second round, KO TK though. But yeah. Main fight on the card here, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. I feel it's gonna be the same. It's the same outcome. This is the third time they're fighting. You know, the fights that I saw with Dustin and Max, Dustin just hurt Max all the time. Hurt him. And Max been finished for the first time by Topuria in the third round. So like I said, the kind of way how Max fight, goes in there and just brawl and go for it. And he's technical at times, but he takes a lot of damage in his fights, bro. Takes a lot of hit, and like I said, your head ain't meant to get hit. You can't condition your brain to take hits. You can't condition your head to take hits, bro. Cause that's where the motherboard is, man. That's where the processing unit is. You know, that's where the signal travels down to your spine and everywhere. You know, and gives you the consciousness. If you freaking keep punching that and hitting that and getting caught in the head consistently, you're gonna destroy it. You're not gonna be as sharp anymore, and eventually, after a while, you just take one touch and you go out. And Dustin, when Dustin fought him in the second fight back in 2019, he was getting flash knockdowns consistently, every single round, dude. I'm liking Dustin. Dustin got a 4-inch reach. This is a retirement fight for Dustin. Dustin's a super veteran. This is a retirement fight for him. He's gonna go out with a win, bro. It is what it is. This is like Dustin is the face. He's the face of UFC, dude. You know, even though the poster boy. You know, Max Holloway is a poster boy too. There can be more than one, but they like Dustin. Like I said, you guys see what the organization want. This is a fight for Dustin to win. He's gonna go out on a win. KO TKO second round, guys. All right. Quick look at the odds here. See what we're working with. In crazy odds. Look at these crazy odds now. Let's see what is. The odds will also tell you stories too, man, and give you insight on what the organization wants and on how crazy the odds are. Not in every fight though. You know, not every fight is the same, obviously, and not every card is the same, right? We always gotta remember that now. So the game is not gonna be done over and over again, back to back. You know, it can't be so predictable. All right. Not saying people will catch on to it, because you know people just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's just what we're dealing with here, man. The hell. Let's see here. Man. Odds. What's this, man? I guess the odds ain't out yet. I guess. Well, let's take a look on Topology, man. I don't know what's up with this. Let's look on Topology, bro. I mean, I know I can look at it under, but I'd like to use this odds betting breakdown. Carl, whoa, negative 400. Oh, goodness gracious. Wow. Whoa. Yeah, remember what I told you. What the organization wants. Carla looks good, but Nicole has more of a. Nicole seems like she has more of a backing, more of an audience. Yeah, she has more pull as far as like social media and like, you know. And she fights in that kind of way, like that straightforward bite down, just go crazy, which that's what they like. So I like Carly, but at 400, this is telling me that Nicole Calari most likely possibly could win this fight, and it probably be by a split decision. That is what that's telling me. So I'm still gonna go with Carly though, but I mean I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I could be wrong. It's like I feel Carly's a better fighter, Carli Judice, but that's what I feel. If it goes to judges, I see split decision all over this, and I could see Nicola Canalari possibly getting the win, but that's just how it is, man. That's how the game is played. So whatever you're doing, I wouldn't parlay Carli Judice so heavily. At 400, no way, man. All right. Brunno, oh, man, negative 575. Damn, I mean, I could see why. You know, again, a guy like Jackson, you know, short notice, not well tested. Brunno a little more tested, you know. I could see the odds looking like that, but still be careful though, man. Because Jackson does have submission game on him, so anything is possible. Ryan Spann at 240, negative 240. Ryan Spann's supposed to win this fight, man. You know, at 240, he's supposed to win the fight, but he also could drop the ball. But he's supposed to win the fight. So at 240, I don't see nothing wrong with it still, but he can still drop the ball. All right, so be careful with that one. Jimmy Crute, negative 340 against Marcin. I'll still be careful with that one because, like I said, Jimmy Crute hasn't been looking great. Even his last fight went to a draw. He just still been up and down, man. I think that's more of a mental thing. Marcin will surprise you, and he always does. There's times where he pulls off wins, man, where you know you think that he's supposed to lose, but then he wins. So be careful with that one, especially at 340. Adam plus 475. I got 635. Damn. Wow, they're high in this guy, bro. I mean, the kid is skilled, though. I mean, I like what I see from him. I think he's a better fighter than Adam. Damn, the odds on these cards are high. But Adam is experienced, though. And Adam, you know, had a couple fights already. Lost some. 635, though. It's freaking crazy, dude. It's just freaking bananas, dude. This guy's coming from Contender Series, dude. I mean, I like what I see from him, but man, dude, I would still be careful with that one. But skill-wise, everything, I like his 540. Nah, man. A guy like Robert could find a submission, dude. He could find a submission. Could. So, Ateba at 540. I'll be careful with that one, man. Because Robert is a more experienced guy. Not super experienced, not like no veteran experience, you know, because Robert will drop the ball. You know what I mean? But Ateba, you know, we notice that his ground is not that great. So at the 540, that one you want to be careful with too, guys. This one, this fight here, Adam and Robert, Carla and Nicole. I feel like these other fights should come out, you know, with the guys winning. But be careful at Ateba and Robert, though. And Carla and Nicole. Francisco Pardo, negative 145. Okay, I mean that's not too bad. This fight to me is even. Like, you know, majority of these fights should be close to even, but that's not the case. But this fight is not bad. I could see Pardo. I would make this fight even though, because I could see Nikolai winning. To be honest with you, but this fight's even, so I can see go either way. So I like Pardo, but Nikolai could actually win. All right. Marvin, underdog. Allen favorite. I mean, I could see why. You know, Allen more active. Marvin hasn't been fighting. Marvin have in and out issues. You know, he has injuries. His brother passed away and all these things. You know, I mean condolences. You know. Yeah. So I consider I was looking at 185. But I mean, still, you know, I can't sleep on Marvin and training out there in ATT too. So, I mean, usually the guys at ATT working out, training, they usually come back looking very, very, very good. So he may try to push a lot of wrestling in this fight. Yeah, but we saw what happened. Kylo Phillips is plus. Okay, this fight's okay. They got Oliveira 140. Okay, so it's kind of close to even. Yeah. Bigger cage though, like I mentioned, for Kylo Phillips. So I'm still liking Kylo Phillips, man. And he's an underdog, so I'm liking Kylo Phillips. But again, judges, split decision, could go to Oliveira. Be very careful with that one. Michael Johnson, damn, plus 455. So Uber 650. Hell no. No way, man. Be careful with this one, guys. Be careful with this one. Careful with Daniel Huber, man. Be careful with this one. Don't sleep on MJ. Don't sleep on MJ, bro. The odds in this one? Nah, man. The guy's Huber super, super high, dude. No way, bro. No way. No way, man. That one? That dog and pass that one, man. I wouldn't put Huber in anything. I'm not saying that he's not skilled, but this fight just seems very, very like, you know, set for Johnson to win in some kind of way. So I'd be very, very careful with this one. Ige and Pitbull, Ige at 225. I still wouldn't sleep on Patricky Pitbull, but like I said, Bellator guys coming to the UFC just don't look good. Dan Ige is a dog. He's a durable dude, man. He's a hard guy to put out. And we'll find a win, and we'll also put you out. So 225, I don't see nothing wrong with it, but I still wouldn't sleep on Pitbull. Holland and Daniel D-Rod. Damn, we got a Holland at 625. Damn. The odds are this card is freaking high, dude. I feel Holland is a better fighter at 172. Especially at 170, I feel Holland is a better fighter. So the odds at 625 doesn't look too bad, but it's, you know, I mean, D-Rod still can strike. You know, I got a little boxing here and there, but I feel Kevin Holland is more versatile. You know what I mean? And he shows it at 170. So, yeah. Acosta, Rahman at 245. Costa is 6-4. 6-4. They got Roman at 245. I don't see nothing wrong with that still. I feel Roman is a better fighter, dude. I mean, hands down, man, he's a better fighter, dude. But again, you go judges, he could say something else. So I feel Roman is just better movement, striking, just everything, timing, and the precision. Yeah, man. Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier. They got Max's favorite. I mean that's interesting. So it's kind of like even almost. All right. Yeah, I'm liking Dustin Poirier though. So yeah, the odds in this card is kind of wild too, guys. But especially for the people that are not too experienced, like very little experience, bro. Like Carli's like 400. I'll be careful with this one. I'll be careful with Ateba and Robert. Prado and Nikolai. I'll be careful with that one. Kyler Phillips. Well, I like Kyler Phillips, but they could rob it for Oliveira. Careful with that one too. Definitely Johnson and Daniel Zahuber, because Johnson is a super veteran, experienced guy that still shows that he's still good. He's still capable of putting you out. Yeah, I'm liking Johnson in this one. Roman should win, but yeah, that's pretty much it there, guys. I'm not gonna draw this out too much. That's it there, guys. Keep pushing forward. Just keep putting in the work, man. Discipline with consistency. Keep going. Don't stop. That's pretty much it. No matter what anybody tell you, people may try to, people may try to talk crap all the time and try to troll you on all these things and, try to put you down and here and there. But just keep your head forward, stay disciplined, and keep it consistent. That's all you got to do, man. Just don't stop. Don't stop. Never stop. Can't stop. All right? One love, guys. Os.